back against the success dynamics this week. Peter Oluwafemi is my name. Today, I want us to look at 4 stages of life that determine the future of every man. And if you are new here, consider to subscribe to this channel because you mean so much to us. The first stage of life is what I call pre, where every man was born. And this is the early stage of every man. This is where you and I were born. At this stage, we were born as mediocres. We were born as common men when there is no qualification of life in every one of us. And that is the early stage of every man. When anybody can just prey on you and use you for whatsoever they desire to use you for. At this early stage, nobody could determine where and when is going to achieve success in life because it is the early stage of every man where no one has nothing, has no qualification that determine success in life. So the second stage of life is what I call pay, and which is price paying stage. The price paying stage of every man is the second stage of every man, which is the early stage of everyone. At this level, what you are being expected from is to move to the price paying stage, to pay the price of life, because what determines your life, what determines your future is the price that you are willing to pay. The second stage of every man that determines his success in life is price paying stage. At this stage, you are required to look for what it takes to achieve success and pay the price. Because the first stage of every life is a common man's stage. But what it takes for every man to achieve success is to move from common man's stage to the price paying stage. Stop putting everything on God. Stop putting everything on God. Here, you must pay the price. You must first pay the price that it takes in order for you to achieve your vision. So, when leaving this stage, the next stage of life is what I call praying. The praying stage of life. That is the stage of depending more on God. Before you depend more on God, before you put everything on God, you must pay the price of life. Paying the price of life, you are the first factor that determines what will happen in your life. God has destined you for success. God has made your life for something great in life. God has made you, and God is expecting you to pay the price that it takes for you to achieve His purpose for His life. So, first pay the price of life, then move closer and move closer to God. Depend more on God. Don't put everything on God because God cannot be mocked. You ought to pay. What you sow, that is what you reap. Whatsoever you sow, that is what you reap. After leaving the first stage of life, you must be ready to pay the price at your early stage. Pay the price at your early stage. Then depend more on God. Depend more on God. That is the third stage of life. Then the last stage of life is what I call fun and game stage. This is the time you will enjoy everything you have paid for. This is the time you will enjoy everything that God has deposited in your life because you have paid the price of life. Then you have depended more on God. Then it is time for you to enjoy what you have labored for. But I discovered many youths today, most especially in Nigeria, leaving the first stage of life, which is the common stage, and move to the playing stage of life. So when you play at the early stage of your life, don't forget that after wasting a lot of years, you will come back here and be praying to God that God, devil had deformed my life. No, not devil. Devil is not your problem. Nobody is your problem. So when you leave this stage and move to this stage, you are still coming here to blame someone. Many people are blaming others because after the first stage of life, they move to the playing stage of life. They use their youth, their young hour, their early hour to play on things that will not benefit their life. So if you leave this stage and move to this stage, you are still coming to blame others and pray to God that these are the people that not allow you to achieve success. But don't forget, nobody can overcome any stages of life. If you move from this place down here, don't forget you are still coming back here at old age to pay the price of life. That is why today in Nigeria, many old people are paying the price of life, which they are supposed to pay at the early stage of their life. You cannot deceive God. When you leave this stage, you have to move down here. If you fail to pay the price, you are still coming to pay the price. So at the early stage of everyone, you are being expected to pay the price and depend more on God. Depend more on God. Then you are qualified to what? To have fun and game at the old age of your life. So don't forget, my name is Peter Oluwafemi. I love to be your friend. I like to be your friend. I want to know you more. I want to learn from you. Please consider to subscribe to my channel because I would like to see you on my next video.